Hello, General Math students. Today we are going to be working on lesson 5.4 on proportional word problems. Please have your notebook and your pencil out and be ready to take notes. Feel free to stop the video anytime you need to catch up. So let's start with this first page. This is going to go into your notes. I want you to write proportional word problems. And we have two things you're going to write. Proportions can be used to solve word problems in which there is a constant rate. And then this hint down here to set up a key when writing proportions to make sure the units stay consistent. And you will see me do that in every single problem in some way, shape, or form, just so that I know which units are where, top or bottom. So let's go ahead and start with our first problem. The ratio of girls to the total number of children in Miss Robinson's class is 2 to 5. So we're always going to start with this ratio set up. A line equals another line. This first one is going to be our ratio. The second one is going to be the actual. And right now I'm using girls and total. So I'm going to label the top one as the girls and the bottom one as the total. So the ratio is 2 to 5. So 2 goes on top for the number of girls out of 5 total children. Then we hit this last sentence, which is going to give us our actual. There are 12 girls in her class, so that goes there. Now we're going to solve it, and it's like solving equivalent fractions. We're going to take the 2 and ask, what do we do to the 2 to get 12? We multiply it by 6. So we're going to do the same thing down on the bottom. 5 times 6. Our answer is that Miss Robinson has 20 students in her class, and there's our answer. One note that I want you to make sure you pay attention to, there will be no cross multiplication and divide. No cross multiply and divide. A lot of your parents are going to try to show you how to do that. It works, but you don't know why it works. So therefore, we are not going to use it right now. There will be a day where you will be taught why it works, and then we can do it, but not yet. So let's try another problem. Will and his father planted a garden. For every 3 tomato plants, they planted 2 basil plants. So I have tomato plants and basil plants. For every 3 tomato plants, they planted 2 basil. This is our ratio right here. This is what goes in there first. We have tomato plants and we have basil plants. So I've got my labels. I know where my numbers go. Now let's look for the actual numbers. They planted 6 tomato plants. That's the actual number of tomato plants that they planted. This one should be a fairly nice one. What do we do to the 3 to get 6? We multiply it by 2. So 2 times 2 gives us 4 basil plants. And I don't care if you go left to right, right to left, or even top to bottom, bottom to top. It doesn't matter as long as you come up with an answer for the one piece that is missing. Let's take a look at this again. 2 out of 3 students in Mr. Peters' class have pet dogs. So 2 out of 3. So that means 2 have pet dogs, and there's a total of 3 students. Now, we kind of dealt with this in 5.3, I believe it was, when we were dealing with part to part and part to whole. This is a part to whole. 2 out of 3. That means 2 have dogs out of 3 total. So we have to kind of fill in the blank. That means 1 person does not have a dog. Down here is our setup, but I'm going to move it up here so that we can see it better. How many students are in Mr. Peters' class? So we're going to use the 2 dogs out of 3 students. We know that 18 students have dogs. So now we're going to figure out how to solve it. 2 times 9 gives us our 18. So 3 times 9, Mr. Peter has 27 students in his class. We didn't need our other part, but that's one way to set it up. Taylor's soccer team ate at a food court. 5 players ate at McDonald's for every 2 players who ate at Subway. So we have McDonald's on top, and we're going to put Subway on the bottom. So here's our ratio. 5 players ate at McDonald's for every 2 players that ate at Subway. Now our actual numbers. If 6 players ate at Subway, and I'm going to put it on the bottom because this is where Subway goes, how many players ate at McDonald's? So what do we do to the 2 to get 6? We multiply it by 3. 5 times 3 gives us 15 players ate at McDonald's. There's our answer. Janet only listens to rock and hip-hop music. Altogether, she has 400 MP3s on her iPod. For those of you who don't know, that was before phones had the music on there. The ratio of the number of hip-hop to rock songs is 3 to 5. So we're going to have to set up our part to whole again. So we have rock songs, we have hip-hop songs, and we have the total. So if she had, here's our ratio, 3 to 5. So 3 hip-hop, sorry, I wrote this upside down. Have to pay attention to this. 3 hip-hop to 5 rock. So that means on the ratio, she has a total of 8. We want to know how many hip-hop songs. So I'm going to put hip-hop up on top, which is 3. And then we know she has a total down here. So we're going to put the total on the bottom, which is going to be 8. Now we're going to put 400 on the bottom. Here's where you're going to have to do a little bit of math. What are we going to do to 8 to get 400? You're actually going to have to use your calculator if you need to and do 400 divided by 8 to see what you're multiplying the 8 times. And I get 50. So 8 times 50 gives us 400. So we do the same thing on top. 3 times 50. She has 150 hip-hop songs on her MP3. On her iPod, sorry. So pause the video and try this one on your own and see how you do. Remember the part to part and part to whole. And then start the video up again and see how you did. Will only owns FUBU and Abercrombie shirts. The ratio of Will's FUBU shirts to his Abercrombie shirts is 2 to 3. I think we're going back to the 80s here, guys. FUBU and Abercrombie. 80s and 90s, I think. Welcome back. So let's talk about his FUBU shirts and his Abercrombie shirts and then the total. So here's our ratio. 2 FUBU shirts to 3 Abercrombie shirts for a total of 5. So here's the numbers that we're going to use. The actual number they gave us is the total, and they want to know FUBU. So we're going to put FUBU up on top and the total down on the bottom. So looking at our ratio, he has 2 FUBU shirts out of a total of 5. 30 total shirts for the actual numbers. So 5 times 6 gives us 30. 2 times 6 gives us 12 FUBU shirts. Again, pause the video, see if you can solve this on your own, and then start it back up and see how you did. Here's our actual. We have 30 children in Miss Robinson's class, so I know the total is going to go down on the bottom, and 30 is the actual. The ratio of boys to the number of children is 3 to 5. So boys to the number of children, boys is going to go on top. Here we have 3 out of 5 total. So now to solve it, what do we do to 5 to get 30? We multiply it by 6. 3 times 6 gives us 18 boys in Miss Robinson's class. Now, we answered this question. There's a second question. How many girls are in the class? Well, if we know they have 30 students altogether, we take out the boys, we have 12 girls in the class. Simple subtraction. So here's a couple of problems that look like the ones you're going to have on your homework. So you're going to set up a ratio up there. We're going to have the proportion, set up the proportion. We're going to have the ratio versus the actual. Pete drove 224 miles in 4 hours on Saturday. Here is our first one. Miles I'm going to put on top, and hours I'm going to put on the bottom. And it really doesn't matter. You could put hours on top and miles on the bottom. Miles is 224 in 4 hours. So if he drives at the same rate on Sunday, how long would it take him to drive 490 miles? I'm going to put that on top. So here's where we're going to do the math. I need to find out what I'm going to do to 490 to get what's in the blank. So what did we do to 224 to get 4? I know I'm going to divide, so let's divide. Start with dividing 224 divided by 4. You put that into your calculator, and if I can do it right, you're going to get 56. So that means 224 divided by 56 should give us 4. And if you double check it, you're going to find out that it works. So that means 490 divided by 56 is going to give us our answer, which is, we get 8 7/75. So our answer is 8 7/75, and we're going to label it hours. Let's do the other one. Again, I'm going to set up my proportion. Approximately 4 out of 5 students in Miss Haynes' 7th grade math class all have cell phones. 4 out of 5. So these are the ones that have it, which is 4. The total would be 5. If there are 365 students in the 7th grade, how many would you expect to have a cell phone? We're going to put that at the bottom, 365. So let's figure out what I did to 5 to get 365. I'm going to take 365 divided by 5, which is going to give me 73. So 5 times 73 gives us that 365. So I know I did it right. So up on top, we're going to do 4 times 73, and that gives us 292 students have cell phones. So homework is 1 through 13 down below. It's a worksheet that actually has 16 problems on it. Do the 1 through 13 that I gave you. You are going to find out that there's 4 problems you are not going to do. You will not be doing 12, 14, and 16. 15 and 16. So if you see a number for the Go Formative, that's the number that you are going to do. There are a few problems that you will not be doing. If you have questions, feel free to send me a message and we'll go through it. Otherwise, have a great day.